Hi, I'm Dr. Rahul Bharad. I welcome you all to my series What Life Has Taught Me Yesterday. Today when I'm recording this video is 19th of July 2023. I'll be talking what 18th of July has taught me in life. Also in this video I'll be discussing one important mission of NASA about the moon exploration in future. That mission is called DIMPLE. What is that mission and how Artemis, their lunar mission, is going to accomplish it? I'll be discussing in this video, so stay tuned till the end of the video to know more about that. Also in this video I'll be discussing what Nelson Mandela Day means to the world. It was celebrated yesterday and that is one of the trending news about today. So if you want to know more about Nelson Mandela Day and what is it all about, please watch this video. About the most important lesson I got from yesterday, being a doctor, I know we have to advise so many tests day in and day out for various reasons to patients, but the most important category of all the investigations we do for all the patients, it grossly comes under two categories, that is screening test and confirmatory test. Now today I'll discuss something about screening test. One incident which I came across yesterday, and that was probably the biggest lesson for me from yesterday's life. So that's why I said let's discuss what are screening test. Now if you know, we want to treat some, if you want to treat some condition, you have to confirm that whether that condition is present in or not in that patient. So you do some blood test. Now there are many changes in the body if a particular condition is present. Suppose if you get a fever because of pneumonia, there are various changes in your body which will happen. For example, you might get high grade fever, you might get cold, you might get cough, you might feel lethargy. Now these are all clinical signs and symptoms which we discuss. Now as far as tests are concerned, there are screening tests and confirmatory tests. Similarly, for various rare conditions which are very important, there are various screening tests. I'll give you some examples. If you do hemoglobin of all the 100 students in a class, you might find some of them are having anemia, that is less hemoglobin. So when you do this CBC, that is complete blood count test, for all the 100 students to diagnose some of the rare conditions of blood disorder also, that might be picked up early in this CBC, which is very simple test. So in that case, this CBC becomes a screening test. Now screening is never confirmatory. If someone is having less hemoglobin, it doesn't mean he is having some cancer or something like that. It might be because of iron deficiency anemia, it might be because of malabsorption, it might be because of some blood loss, or it might be because of cancer. So when you say someone's hemoglobin is less in a CBC, it doesn't mean he is having or she is having rare conditions. So that is the importance of screening test. What is confirmatory? If you suspect some condition because of screening test positivity and you do a particular test for that condition, then you can confirm the disease. So the point I'm trying to tell here is that whenever you get any test positive in your blood reports, in your investigations, in your CBC, radiologically, you discuss with your doctor whether this test is particularly for screening of that condition or confirmatory for that condition. I'll give you another example. We commonly do thyroid levels in cord blood of newborn babies. Whenever a baby is born, sometimes we do, many times we do cord blood sampling to predict whether this child is more prone for future thyroid issues. So in that case, whatever sample we get at birth of cord blood becomes a screening test. Now screening tests are typically made, they are very cheap, they are easy to do, and they can diagnose not only diagnose, but I would say they can screen many patients at a time. So screening tests have their own importance. They have sometimes they can be false positive, they can be false negative also. That's a different story of statistics and all. But the point we all should remember is that screening tests are there to help us to advance to the further investigations if we are suspecting some test. If you are a doctor, you might be knowing that we do so many tests as a screening, and when it is confirmatory only, then only we will tell the patients or the relatives that the particular condition is present. Another example, radiologically, I would say, if you do a ultrasonography of your abdomen and you are having some abdominal pain and you suspect some unusual lesion on the sonography, then the doctor might advise you to go for, suppose for example, might advise you to go for CT scan. In that case, sonography becomes a screening test, because sonography was done quite easily, it was non-invasive, and it was not exposing the patient to the hazardous radiations also. That has picked up something which led to further investigations. For example, CT abdomen, in that detailed analysis of the particular region would be done to confirm a particular condition. So whenever you get something positive on a screening test, don't be panic. You should be well versed with those tests and their advantages and disadvantages. Discuss with your doctor, whoever is your doctor, discuss with that doctor whether this test is confirmatory test or a screening test. If a screening test is positive, if available some confirmatory test is there, do get it done, those confirmatory tests, so that you also come to know whether you are having that condition or not. For example, another example I would give, if you are having hemoglobin less and your platelets are down, it doesn't mean all the patients with less hemoglobin and less platelets are having cancer. It might be because of some infection which is causing hemolysis and less platelets in your body, and after recovery from that condition you will definitely come out of it if your bone marrow is properly working. But if someone is having very low hemoglobin and less platelets, and then doctor advises you to go for confirmatory tests such as bone marrow examination, and then if you find something positive on that bone marrow examination, then the previous CBC which told you hemoglobin is less and platelet less becomes screening test, and bone marrow test becomes confirmatory test. So most important lesson I would discuss about yesterday's life I came across yesterday is that for any screening test, be it in pregnancy, be it in your routine CBC, be it your sonography, for any screening test, be very much informed about their advantages and disadvantages. Do not panic based on screening test results. Go for confirmatory test. If at all confirmatory test comes positive, you act accordingly, or you discuss with your doctor what is to be done in future. So that was the point I wanted to share with you all about the most important lesson I came across yesterday from my routine experience. About the most important news I came across yesterday is about NASA's Artemis mission. As you all know, I have discussed 3 days back in my videos that Artemis 2, 3 and 4 are planned to be sent to lunar mission in future, and in 2027, that is second quarter of 2027, they are planning to send a DIMPLE mission. Now what is that DIMPLE mission? It's about dating an irregular patch with Lunar Explorer, DIMPLE, that is dating an irregular map and patch on moon with the lunar mission. So whatever that hilly region is there on the moon, that will be explored on the near side of the moon by NASA, and that will help us to understand better about the evolution of moon on the surface and etc. Now the cost of that DIMPLE mission by the NASA is supposed to be capped at $50 million. So it's a huge and costly mission for NASA, but ultimately it will give so much of information about the surface of the moon, how the various craters and various surfaces on the moon have evolved. So stay tuned about the NASA mission of these Artemis missions, and get more informed about the future also about the DIMPLE mission as far as NASA is concerned on the lunar missions, explorer missions. About the most trending news I came across yesterday is about Nelson Mandela. We all know yesterday we celebrated birth anniversary of Nelson Mandela. Was born on 18th of July 1918, and he was very active social worker, especially anti-apartheid activist in South Africa. He was the first elected black race president of South Africa, and he was sent to jail for whatever social activity he did for almost 67 years. So he spent 67 years in jail of South Africa for his social reason. So yesterday it was decided and planned that you should spend almost 67 minutes of your yesterday's day in social activity, in volunteering, or to make social injustice vanish from your vicinity. So yesterday was the day when we all celebrated International Nelson Mandela Day. That is it all about. If you want to know more about that, I'll be sharing link in the description box about the Nelson Mandela and all his work. What was the theme yesterday? We all should inculcate whatever good qualities Nelson Mandela had, and whatever work he did, we must read and go through it. So please go to the link in the description box if you want to read more about that. Whatever I am learning from my daily life, I am sharing in these videos. What you people think about your daily experiences and whatever you are learning, do tell me in the comment box. If you want to spread it to people around you, you can use your direct contacts also. You can discuss with the people around you. You can share with the social media also. Nowadays it is easier to share this kind of information in and around us. So I hope you people are learning something new. I hope you people also will focus more on the confirmatory test rather than focusing more on the screening test. But screening tests have their advantages. That is the most important message I wanted to give you. And you must follow your doctor's advice. You must discuss your problems with your doctor so that you also get more informed and you also feel better in your routine life. For today, we'll stop here. Bye bye.